I'm going to expose the hidden weaknesses that women tend to hide out of fear that they could appear weak. But by being aware of these flaws, you can obtain an unexpected advantage in winning them over. Let's attack the strong one's vulnerability. Men whose actions align with their words captivate women in an irresistible way. Fascinated by those who talk little, and this is why it's simpler to women appreciate deeds over words, so always make sure your actions match your words. Bolster your statements. For instance, if you wish to come off as a high-value man, let your deeds speak for you when you introduce her to your woman. Friends post pictures of them on social media, allowing for subtle communication. Your attractiveness and social status vulnerability. Number 2. The self-assured man. The self-assured man. Women find confidence to be quite beautiful, and they are drawn to guys who radiate confidence because it conflicts with their own fears. In order to communicate with confidence firmly, stay away from cliches and pay more attention than you speak. This isn't just makes her feel heard and infuses a sense of mystery, which excites her to greater interaction and show that you're not a pushover by not being scared to say no, which makes her more attracted to and respectful of you. She stays until the very conclusion of the video, since the last "I'll give you a flaw that you can use to your advantage" to get her to approach you without having to put in much more work. 3. The aspirational man. Women are strongly drawn to males. An ambitious man is someone who doesn't accept with mediocrity, regardless of the situation. He emanates drive and leadership, whether he's launching a new company or taking on a new endeavor. Attributes that are really alluring. Weakness. 4. The mysterious bad. There's no denying the allure of the enigmatic bad boy, that women frequently can't help but be pulled to the highs and lows these men produce on an emotional level, which might make them fixated on adopt this persona and think of yourself as a little conceited, taking charge of the relationship and being vague with your goals. Even while I don't advise completely taking on the bad boy role lifestyle that incorporates some of these characteristics, such keeping an air of you can become more interesting and desired by being unpredictable and avoiding making snap decisions. Weakness number 5. Being ignored. Women are attention seekers who frequently have a strong draw toward being disregarded competition. But when you ignore her, you make a statement and undermine her self-confidence. She wonders why, in comparison to others, she's not grabbing your attention to use this to your benefit. Treat her the same as everyone else. Be at ease around her and keep your distance from her. This will force her to strive harder for your attention, which can strengthen her inclination towards you. Weakness. 6. The captivating, enthusiastic womanizer. Womanizer women frequently find themselves irresistibly drawn to guys who other women find attractive. This phenomenon is known as pre-election. To capitalize on this, hang out with female friends, even if, when there isn't a love interest, you come across as more desirable, which increases your attractiveness. The secret, in her opinion, is to demonstrate that other women find you attractive, which will inevitably improve your standing in her eyes. Weak point 7. The well-sent. The sensible man. According to a Brazilian study, women are especially susceptible to scent, increasing their propensity to be lured to attractive guys. Take advantage of this, be mindful of your grooming regimen, and utilize a pleasant-smelling, maintain a fresh breath with shampoo, and select a mild yet durable. A well-groomed man exudes qualities of care and attention to detail in his scent. Characteristics women find really alluring. The macho active. Weakness. 8. The man who is masculine. Men that radiate masculinity, which is typically characterized by physical. These men are naturally strong, emotionally independent, and have a deep voice. Leaders that live this and don't need approval from others are those who. Physical activity fosters leadership qualities and upholds your independence together, conveys a sense of solidity and strength. Attributes that women find incredibly alluring: vulnerability. 9. The intense, the enthusiastic man. In contrast to the austere, macho male, the passionate man enthralls women by his contagious passion and unwavering dedication to what he loves, make him quite appealing to take advantage of this. Go deeply into a topic or project that interests you and discuss it with sincere energy. Observe her responses and modify your style to maintain her interest while you speak. When you speak fervently about something you care about, it inspires respect and forges a deep emotional bond. Weakness and. The women that possess emotional intelligence are inherently emotional and a. The man with emotional intelligence. An emotionally intelligent man has an advantage over a man who lacks emotional intelligence. Because they are able to build a deeper, more profound connection with women, this quality listen intently, pay attention to her body language, and provide support. Constructing unforgettable experiences with one another without constantly attempting to solve things also makes you more dependable for her emotional support, which deepens your relationship. Assist you in becoming exceptionally handsome with little work by joining our group of men who comprehend and subscribe to this channel to take advantage of female psychology. If you've the elements of attractive men reach this point, you're already one of us. Please share your opinions about the video in the comments below, and don't forget to watch our upcoming video on how to tell whether a lady is interested in you. Stay tuned, and an expert in the psychology of women. What makes a man appealing? So you want to win her heart, but you want to disregard all you've been taught because this isn't the right way to attract women. Need to change the relationship, such that if you're pursuing her, she should be the one seeking you and not the other way around. You have to think of yourself as a magnet, as she will never really come to you. That inevitably attracts women is the one method to make any girl, regardless of. That's precisely what we're going to do, who she is, fall in love with you. And how do you do that? This video's cover. Welcome to our series on attracting. In this episode, we'll delve deeply into the minds of women to discover what strategies for getting women. She truly believes that one fundamental idea holds the secret to her success in attraction. Knowing the mechanics of attraction is crucial. Without it, you won't advance. In the women in the dating world tend to make decisions based more on feelings than on logic. Rationality, they react in accordance with the emotions that an event or a person arouses in them. As a result, they are unable to deliberately choose the people they are drawn to. Inadvertent reaction to specific actions guys take that you can't predict. You won't attract a woman by just enumerating your positive traits in a PowerPoint presentation. Instead, you must these traits come naturally to you in terms of behavior and personality. But let's first make two things clear. Important points. Women have little control over who they find attractive. Whom they aren't drawn to, attraction operates on a subliminal level by being outside their conscious awareness. So let's examine the types of men and women that natural attraction to a man they can't readily have. The man they are hardly able to have. Picture yourself casually perusing the racks of a store when you notice a gleaming, cutting-edge TV that you didn't plan to purchase anything, but you inquired about it out of interest, and the salesperson said he was sorry. That's the final one, and this TV that you were looking at has unexpectedly sold out. Simply curious about turns into the world's sexiest gadget when the salesman calls later to say they discovered another one in the warehouse, but it costs a little more, so you want it right away. What transpired was that TV became a necessary commodity since it appeared to. The attraction that unachievable women have for men functions similarly to the men they cannot simply have turned into those limited edition things that are required to be unavailable. Enhances a man's worth and makes him more appealing, making him that uncommon, limited. In the dating world, edition guy is unquestionably a win too, the took, the man taken. It's fascinating to note that a man's status as an engaged or married, although it can seem paradoxical, attraction frequently soars. Funny game. The more elusive the goal, the more appealing it seems. A man's desirability index increases when someone else has already claimed him. The ceiling, same to the last piece of pizza that everyone wants to eat at once. 3. The guy, the man that other women want, who is desired by other ladies. Picture yourself strolling down the... There's nothing unusual about the box itself when you see people gathered around it in the street, but the fact that it's the center of attention piques your interest, and you begin to wonder what's so amazing about this box, in the same way that a man automatically turns into more appealing to other people. It's as like he's been given more attention. Making curious, other ladies begin to wonder what makes this person so unique. These women are all intrigued, and their curiosity draws in additional women like a strong magnet. In essence, being well-liked by women makes you much more well-liked by them. In his women are the best audience pleasers when it comes to unpredictable males. Being surprising can create excitement because predictability can breed monotony. Picture of attraction. Most males approach women in a very direct and consistent manner, putting their goals on display. This openness can frequently make women disinterested, since they can discern situations fast. Particularly, gorgeous women are accustomed to typical men approaching them in predictable ways, but when a man is, for example, it's unexpected, defies convention, and grabs their attention. Imagine yourself conversing with a stunning woman, and instead of offering the customary praise, you say something surprising, like, "I guess you can, but I'm not sure if we would get along. Handle me." This unexpected remark unsettles her and makes her feel uncomfortable curiosity. She could think, "Wait, he's saying I can't handle him. But what does that imply? You stand out from other guys," and she starts to feel lustful for you. Her curiosity quickly piques her interest, and she feels increasingly drawn to him. Being erratic is undoubtedly a game to you. Let's discuss about the high-value man share at last. The man of high-value man, similar to how vintage goods can command incredible prices even when they're not in working order. Value men don't have to be conventionally flawless to be really handsome. Similar to how a guy can be viewed, these antiques are prized for their perceived worth rather than their actual utility. Is extremely attractive, so what if a woman thinks he's valuable? To put it simply, a woman views a man as exactly what does it mean to be a high-value man. High regard when she views him as more significant than she does. As long as you keep the upper hand, you'll be seen as a high-value man. Here are some important ideas to help you foster this impression. Remember that a high-value man doesn't pursue women merely for their own sake. He doesn't go to women for validation or attention, and he doesn't he puts his life first and never settles for anything less than the greatest, putting no lady on a pedestal simply because she's gorgeous. And further, he's prepared to give up if his morals are violated. Shows women that he is not a pushover and that he has other possibilities and is not in a rush to settle. Rather than adjusting to a woman's environment, he welcomes her into his most vital. A high-value man never pursues women. If you adopt these qualities, you'll be regarded as valuable, and ladies will gravitate toward you. Keep in mind, we'll cover everything. These are only the fundamentals. There will be more details about this throughout this series. Please let me know in the comments whether you would like me to continue this series and what problems you're having so I can. If you haven't seen the first video yet, be sure to do so now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The science of attracting females values your support. Therefore, are you having trouble? Don't worry, I've got you covered with the power of science and attraction psychology. I'm here to make you into Regina's male counterpart, Scarcity Principle. Psychologist Dr. Robert Tellini is well known for his work on George Lesson 1. The principle of scarcity outlined in his book How Restricted Opportunities Look More Desirable. This widely applied marketing theory explains why billionaires would select a sluggish, unique car more quickly than a mass-produced one. This is also the reason why the expression "nice people always finish last." So why does that happen? It's not like girls don't appreciate decent people. Guys, it seems like decent guys are too accessible, while jerks tend to. The jerks seem more precious because of their restricted supply, but the thing they don't tell you is that it takes a decent person who knows how to generate scarcity, not a jerk. How to become less noticeable is significantly more appealing, but how do you manage this? Picture yourself at a party, seeing a female you like and seeing guys fighting over her. It may seem hopeless to get her attention, but now is your chance to come on stage and shine. Say hello as you walk by in a warm and casual manner, then continue on to talk to an extra point if your companion is a female. By doing this, by successfully projecting a limited edition sign onto yourself, as opposed to the males clinging to her, you've established an exceptional chance, something that must be taken advantage of before its second lesson. The gain-loss theory, which builds upon the theory of gain-loss. The gain-loss theory of attraction provides more understanding of the concept of scarcity. Why good guys could appear to come in last in an ingenious research conducted by college students set up in individual encounters. Following each encounter, the pupils inadvertently heard the experimenters' assessments of them, all of which were either favorable or negative at first, but either turning positive or starting out positive, but turning unfavorable when questioned later about how much they loved the experimenter. Naturally, when the experimenter received only favorable comments, the students preferred the most, but they also loved the. When the feedback is first unfavorable, but then becomes positive, it indicates that you should explore even more. Gaining someone's acceptance after a difficult beginning is significantly more fulfilling than just being. When employing this tactic with a girl, you have to exercise caution in trying to imply in a subtle way that you loved her right away. It's difficult to say that she's left a negative impression without coming across as a jerk. As you make a decision, it's important to carefully consider your tone and body language. If it's not evident, make sure to say that she has won you over, that you've become more comfortable with her. She might think you're not interested, which could backfire and push her nearby distance. Lesson 3 and proximity were covered in Lesson 1. The significance of drawing less notice to oneself. However, it's vital to comprehend that closeness is unrelated to scarcity. An MIT research on friendship development discovered that the formation of close ties was mostly dependent on proximity. The closer someone, the likelihood that someone would be listed as a close friend for. For example, individuals who were only one dorm away from another had a 41% chance of being close friends, while the likelihood of those 4 dorms away being the takeaway was only 10%. Being physically close to the female you're interested in is necessary, but proximity isn't not only about where you are, but also about how often you can. If you're not close to someone you see for an hour once a week, you'll be less likely to get along with someone you see for 10 minutes every day. You should intentionally design it and think about altering your route to class to avoid her joining a group or figuring out additional regular methods to cross paths. Be delicate, though, as there's a thin line separating approaching and establishing proximity, As spooky, don't cross it, so let's assume you've made good contact. When demonstrated that she is upset with you, how do you maintain her good emotions for the impact of Ben Franklin, the Ben Franklin effect? Lesson 4. Benjamin Franklin had a secret to being well liked by all. He solicited favors from others, notwithstanding the possibility that, contrary to popular belief, asking for favors doesn't irritate people. A 1971 study at the According to Research from the University of North Carolina, when people are friendly to others, they prefer them more. In this study, participants were instructed to either support or be critical of pupils who were acting during their performance. Tasks later, the volunteers were questioned about the kids' likability and attractiveness, and the findings revealed showed people who had support were thought to be more appealing than those who chastised. The takeaway is to present the female you admire with opportunity to be nice to you, starting with little favors. By doing this, you're quietly pushing her to feel more positively about you for the moment, or something straightforward. For instance, you could place your pencil down close to her and ask her to retrieve it for you. Ask her for assistance with a tiny task you're working on. Little actions like these can genuinely increase your appealing, since they provide modest chances for linkage. Lesson 5. The factor of appearance. In 1997, researchers Moran and the aesthetic elements Bloom examined 117 people for their study, which produced an interesting discovery. College students asking them to respond after seeing 76 images of the other sex to evaluate each one's attractiveness. Unexpectedly, the study discovered that the majority of appealing traits were linked to, rather than exclusively derived from, genetics. Things that you can manage, such proper posture, discernible grooming, and well-fitting attire, a cheerful outlook, and upholding a healthy lifestyle. Wait, let me reiterate that the most desirable characteristics are not purely inherited by placing exercise on a daily basis while standing tall and keeping your shoulders back. Keeping things tidy, dressing appropriately, and grinning as much as you can greatly improve your attractiveness. You may be doing everything else correctly, but she won't be interested if you don't take care of your appearance and present yourself well. Last lesson. Chemistry and luck, or rather attraction, frequently boils down to a genetic factor that is out of your control: compatibility, which takes us to the field of neurobiology, where two important variables are at play: a part in deciding enduring attraction, and has the power to almost your nose senses impacts. Thus, the first aspect is your sense of smell. Genetic information carrying pheromones that might cause physiological or behavioral reactions. If women's nostrils are likewise able to detect MHC molecules, which our immune system functioning study indicates that women are frequently more drawn to males with different MHC molecules than they do because of this hereditary. Unfortunately, diversity is beneficial for prospective offspring. Because men's MHC detecting abilities differ, you can feel a powerful bond. But if your MHC molecules are excessively similar to hers, she may not share the same sentiments. The second, and possibly most important factor, is that this initial kiss is a sophisticated chemical and physical exchange. It's really important to consider everything, even the flavor of your tongue and breath. That a lot of women say they stop being attracted to someone after a poor first kiss. But when a kiss goes well, norepinephrine is released in a rush, starting the fight, ORF. Your pulse rushes, your pupils enlarge, and your energy spikes during the flight response. If everything makes sense, you've connected deeply and learned the mysteries of. We're going to get into 11 female body language presently. Scientifically validated body language indicators that frequently show a woman's developing interest in you, as well as will highlight the most obvious indication that she isn't interested in you. So save your time, signal one. duplicating your actions. Reflection. Imagine yourself sitting across from her in a cafe, idly running your hand through your hair, and she mimics you a few moments later. This subliminal mirroring is the most obvious indication of interest. Mirroring is when someone mimics your body language without realizing it, giving off a cozy vibe and a desire to establish a rapport. The reason this is important is psychologically, it's nearly always an involuntary activity. When she replicates your actions, mirroring stems from our innate desire for connection and reciprocity. Gestures are her unconsciously used method of expressing how at ease and interested she is in strengthening the link between this behavior and a basic human need to establish common experiences that serve as a foundation for a closer relationship. In essence, mirroring is more than just imitation. It's a strong sign of trust. Playing with her is another telltale indicator of interest, as is empathy and a developing bond. This seemingly innocuous move might disclose a great deal about her emotions. When she twirls or plays with her hair, it's usually because she's anxious, and this conduct is related to her psychological need to improve her beauty. To self-awareness when she's around someone she finds interesting. Let's say you're having a meaningful conversation or laughing together. She's having a chat when she begins to play with a strand of her hair. This is not merely a harmless habit, it's a subconscious attempt to get your notice by emphasizing her femininity, and engaging in psychological games with hair can be viewed as a way to express one's natural desire to look better. When someone they're interested in finds you appealing, it's a subtle yet strong indication that she's engaged in the conversation and wants to make a good impression. Perception signal 10. When a woman feels drawn to someone, she plays with her hair. Having fun with your hair may get more self-conscious about how she looks, frequently concentrating on her hair in an unconscious attempt to increase her attractiveness. For example, it's not merely a compliment if she runs her fingers through her hair after you give it to her. Informal gesture. This move acknowledges your remarks without speaking, gently enhancing her beauty and beckoning you to observe and value her signal. And careful and clear eye, transparent, free-flowing eye contact is a potent predictor of a woman's. When she looks at you with clarity and intention, it shows more attention. Compared to a casual gaze, this kind of eye contact conveys focus, confidence, and a sincere want to communicate if her gaze finds yours on a regular basis. It takes conscious effort to speak clearly in a busy area or during a group discussion. To build a relationship with you and make you the center of her attention, a 10 attentiveness signal, 8 open unguarded position posture. An open stance is an additional undetectable yet telling clue that a lady has adopted an approach that is open and facing you, indicating a readiness to connect. This. Her non-verbal cues suggest that she is not only there, but actively extending an invitation interaction if she keeps her body in your direct line of sight. Open position is frequently an indication that she's intrigued and is awaiting your response. When a woman purposefully enters into your personal space, move signals a clear sign of interest when someone enters your personal space. The unseen line that each of us draws to indicate our comfort zone. She's shown comfort in this area and a desire for a tighter relationship, a bond that transcends simple conversation. As demonstrated by this gesture, she's willing to work with you, showing that she genuinely cares for you and a readiness to interact more fully. Picture yourself at a gathering when she starts walking across the room to approach you. The important thing to notice is where she pauses and enters your space if she is within 4 feet of you. Personal space. This is a deliberate strategy, not an accidental one. You probably intended to converse at this point, but take into account the distance she is now approaching what is referred to be the intimacy zone, which is this. This is a clear indication that she's interested in talking to you. This area becomes more private, indicating a change to a more private. An effective non-verbal cue of interest is when a connection intrudes on personal space. Saxth dilated nostrils indicating a less. Nostril widening is a common yet informative indication, however it may not be the first, what you may consider a flirty gesture, but it can also convey a feeling of coziness and openness, as opposed to more conscious body language cues, such as widening nostrils, frequently an instinctive, natural reaction. If you see her nostrils widening when, if she's with you, it means she's comfortable and at ease, which suggests a degree of comfort in your company. Signal 5, while paying attention to her lips. Another telltale indicator is when a woman makes eye contact with her lips following. During a lengthy conversation, if she touches her lips lightly or accentuates them. By putting on lipstick, it's an indication that she wants you to pay attention to them. Her lips are a flirty approach that transcends mere nonverbal communication. If you see her, she's expressing interest in you and drawing your attention to this alluring part of her body. When you look directly into her mouth while you're speaking, it's a sign that she wants to go closer and may be expressing love or sexual interest with a four-footed signal foot direction. Despite its odd appearance, signal number 4 provides valuable direction information. Even when she's standing next to you, laughing and seems to be, when she is completely focused, the position of her feet can show her actual degree of interest is conveyed more clearly by feet than by other body language or face emotions, which can occasionally be deceptive. Image of her subconscious plans if her feet are aimed straight at you. A clear indication that she's genuinely excited and involved. But if her feet are turned aside even while she's engaging in the conversation, it could mean that she's thinking elsewhere. Signal number 3 with dilated pupils and a sideways gaze. Pupils dilated and sideways glanced entails dilated pupils and a sideways glance, which many people ignore cues, but they are also strong markers of dilated pupils of attraction, which lead to, if her pupils enlarge, this could indicate arousal or emotional interest based on the autonomic nervous system's reaction. It's clear from your interactions that she's attracted to you. If she offers you a sideways glance, that's another subtle yet informative signal. Sideways glance is a tacit method of recognizing or assessing the interaction. This quick look shows that she's focused on you and frequently indicates flirtation or exposure of the neck. Second interest signal that reveals the neck. One blatant indicator of attraction is when a lady exposes her neck. Shows vulnerability and trust because the neck is an exposed, sensitive area. Her head tilt and her hair pushed aside to reveal her neck are two ways she shows her ease and openness around. This behavior is similar to what animals in the animal kingdom instinctively perform and shows confidence and safety in interpersonal dealings, suggesting that she feels safe and receptive to you. Indicate one deliberate, purposeful physical interaction. Intentional physical touch is the most telling indicator of developing interest. Examples of this include touching your hand, rubbing her leg against yours, or even giving you a hug arm if she's feeling cold. These expressions show that she's at ease and willing to share her feelings. With your deliberate physical contact dissolves boundaries and denotes a deeper degree of attraction and connection. When she touches your brushes against you, gives you a warm embrace, or rests on your shoulder, communicates volumes. These aren't merely inoffensive gestures. They convey a degree of closeness that transcends friendship and demonstrates her comfort in sharing her physical space. On the other hand, your crossed arms are a glaring indication of apathy, a sign of indifference. When she crosses her arms in front of you, it's a clear non-verbal cue that she's not interested. Of discomfort or indifference, crossed arms can indicate that she is not interested. With what you're saying, and in certain situations, it could indicate that she feels the need to shield herself from your discomfort. Crossed arms could, in the best-case situation, only indicate that she's cold, but it's important to remember that not good news either, because if you see her crossing her arms, it can be